Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of On Tap. Today is a very special day. Today is not only another episode of the podcast, but it's also our Thanksgiving special. You got Ben and I, and we're here to just kind of not really shit on Thanksgiving, but kind of shit on Thanksgiving. Ben, I have prepared here a list of some common Thanksgiving food items that I don't necessarily agree with or disagree with, but I want to get your take on them. And I think we look at it from the standpoint of like smash or pass. Like, would you eat this food or are you passing it when it comes to the lazy Susan in the middle of the dinner table at Thanksgiving? So
Okay.
I'll just kick this thing off right away, and I don't want to give any hints, but I will start off with one of the most, I think, grossly overrated Thanksgiving foods, and I think that's cranberry sauce. What are your feelings on cranberry sauce?
I I don't even know where to begin with it because I've had this at obviously Thanksgiving or whatever, and like there's sometimes people mix it up in the bowl, and then there's other times where people will just dunk it right out of the can, and it still has like the ribbed, probably for
Yeah,
your flavor. I'm sure at that point, but it's just disgusting. And the only people that I think enjoy it were the same people that lived through the Depression, where they didn't get a treat, and somehow mixing this in with their mashed potatoes and some dry ass turkey, it has to be the pinnacle of the day. Between that and like an old Milwaukee to wash it down, I don't know who's eating cranberries, man.
yeah. I would agree with that, but I would say a nice old Milwaukee does not sound bad to wash it down because that's all I'm going to want to taste. Because I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I've only had this stuff maybe 2-3 times in my entire life, but anytime I've ever seen it, I've never thought to myself, "Damn, that looks appetizing." It just has never crossed my mind.
No, and I think the thing that really messes with me is it's so tart you can't eat it on your own. Like everyone mixes it in with something, and the palatable wise of it, I don't think there's anything that actually mixes with it unless you've already had about two or three old Milwaukees and you drove your PT Cruiser over to your son-in-law's house and you're like, you know what? Yeah, this looks pretty all right. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, okay, let's jump right into I think we're gonna need a lot of split decision on this one, but what is your take on green bean casserole?
Ass or what was it? Trash, whatever. I don't like it, man. I'm not a green
Pass or
bean.
trash? Smash or pass?
I'm gonna go. No, not about it, man. I'm not a green bee guy to begin with. What do you think?
Okay. I think that's one of the few things that I really enjoy when it comes to Thanksgiving, partially because you don't have this year round typically. My family has never had the green bean casserole very often. It pretty much is exclusively a Thanksgiving dish. And I will say, my grandma makes some fire green bean casserole. And for that reason, for me, it's a smash. And it's one of the very few things that are on the tradition list that I really enjoy.
Oh my. Okay, okay. What have you curated next? What do we got?
Let's see. This I didn't think was a common one, but apparently it's on every like um Thanksgiving food tradition menu list that I could find on the internet. Brussels sprouts with toasted pecans.
Oh no, I've never had that. I
I've never even heard of it.
I haven't either. You got nuts and you got vegetables. I don't even have a good enough credit score to even think about a meal like that. Like I feel like you have to have like a chef and a butler in order to get that.
Right? It
Like,
sounds a little bit too intricate for my palate. And I have this weird thing where I don't like nuts mixed in with food. Like I like cashews and walnuts, everything on its own. But the second you mix it with something, like even ice cream, I just cannot stomach it for some reason. It's a texture thing for me. And I've never had the Brussels sprouts with the pecans, but I can already tell you I'm probably passing on that one.
yeah, I'm gonna pass on the pecans. That's not good.
No more pecans. What about stuffing? Stuffing is a crowd favorite, I would say. It
Oh,
seems to be the highlight of a lot of Thanksgivings.
yeah. I'll get two plates of stuffing. I honestly I'll just go for just the stuffing, honestly. That is Hands down the best thing. I've made it at home before. I've just thrown some stovetop in a pan and just got weird with it and just made that with like a ham sandwich at home before. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
stuffing, smash. Smash, smash, smash all
Yeah.
day.
I'm gonna say I'm somewhere between smash and pass on stuffing because I've had very bad stuffing that's, like, very bland, no flavor to it, and it's all mush and it's weird. But then also
The texture can really fuck everything up. I agree with that.
yeah, exactly, however, I don't know if you're familiar with the White Castle stuffing recipe, are you?
No, go on.
Oh, you gotta look it up. The White Castle slider stuffing recipe is a Thanksgiving staple. I mean, this is some of the best stuffing I've ever had in my entire life. White Castle really knew what they were doing when they came out with this. I don't even know if they're the ones that came out with this, but it's I'm gonna say a top tier Thanksgiving item. And for that reason, I'm gonna say smash for all of stuffing because just the White Castle stuffing alone has made me just love the word.
So I just want you to expand on that a little bit more. What is there like slider cheeseburgers in it, or did they just make it with some kind of seasoning? Like what makes a White Castle stuffing?
To be honest, I don't remember the exact recipe, but do believe that you just get some sliders, and I don't remember how many, and I'm sure that's it's the quantity impacts that of how big the recipe you're making. But yeah, I think you just mix up, like smash a bunch of White Castle sliders together and mix in some other fixins, and then boom, you got the world's best stuffing. I've never actually made it myself, if I'm being fully honest, which is why I don't know. But I have had it multiple times, and it is really good.
Okay, okay. What do you got next on here?
I'm gonna go with, this is also seems to be another crowd favorite, but a lot of people might be partial to it, and that's pumpkin pie. What are your thoughts on pumpkin pie?
I am a big fan of pumpkin pie. My mother-in-law, I told her one time in passing that, yeah, I like pumpkin pie. And now it's like I'm the pumpkin pie guy. And I
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. I get a whole pie to myself. I still only have one slice. Throw as much Cool Whip on top of it as you can, and it's fantastic. I think pumpkin pie is better than any other pie. It knocks out apple, it knocks out
Whoa.
cherry, it knocks out. You honestly take whatever pie you want, line it up to it. No competition. Pumpkin pie all day. Smash. Thank you.
Wow. I like that out of you because my favorite seasonal beer, I know you didn't ask for it and it's unsolicited, but I'm gonna give it to you anyways. My favorite seasonal beer is Sam Adams Oktoberfest, which has like a thick pumpkin flavor to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, it always makes me think of pumpkin pie. And I wouldn't say that it's my personal favorite pie of all time, but I would smash a good pumpkin pie because there's not many bad pumpkin pies I've ever had. Even, I mean, homemade, store bought, it doesn't matter. They're all good. That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, and they're all the same, and I can't tell the difference if it's homemade or if you bought it at the gas station on the way over. I think it's still fantastic. I have one that I want to
Yeah.
quiz you on. So
Okay.
obviously we're from Minnesota, and we have all kinds of Scandinavian culture around. Does your family do lefse for Thanksgiving at all?
No,
No. Okay.
no,
I've
I don't think I've ever even had lefse.
Oh, really? Okay, we've had like a 50-50 split at like my friends, talking about it and whatever, and it's either half the people have it and love it because it's just like a potato tortilla thing with butter and sugar, and you just roll it up and eat it like a little burrito thing. Other people have no idea what I'm talking about. There's gonna be someone that listens to this episode and they're like, okay, these guys get me. This is why I listen to the boys.
Yeah, now that you say that, the sugar and the rolled up, I think I have had lefse before, and, if I remember right, I mean, it's been a long time, but if I remember right, I thought it was fire. I loved it.
Hell yeah.
Anything with sugar and butter. I mean, you coat sugar and butter on anything, I'll eat it. You coat sugar and butter on a goddamn Nike tennis shoe, I'll probably eat that thing.
Yeah, goddamn, just do it.
Uh, my last one for smash or pass for Thanksgiving foods is gonna be an obvious one. I think let's just roll right into this. What do you think of turkey in general, like a whole oven baked or fried turkey?
I'm gonna do oven baked. I think fried turkey's gross. I've had it on a couple occasions. Not a fan. Texture thing. It's greasy. It's kind of weird. I think where everyone falls really flat, and maybe some people's family have this figured out, and apparently mine doesn't. My family likes to take the turkey out of the oven and then let it sit on like the counter and cut it up for about an hour and a half, apparently. And it's just cold when I get it, and I just don't like it, and it's always dry. I don't know. Someone from my family's gonna listen to this. I'm gonna get stabbed. Um,
You're like, well,
oh,
that's the best part of the whole meal.
yeah, yeah. You haven't ever broke the wishbone? Like, yeah. I wish I wasn't here. It's just not. It's just not good.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about
I,
turkey. I'll eat it like sliced up on a sandwich or something, but just eating a big slab of meat, man, not a fan. What do you think, Cody?
I'm in the exact same boat. I think every time I've ever had it, regardless of who's cooking it, like the flavor might be good, but it's always like it's super dry and
Mhm.
it leaves this like weird coating in your mouth. It seems like your teeth gonna have like some grit to it from the turkey. It's like a wax almost. I don't know how to explain it. I can feel it on my teeth. And never been a big fan. You know, we're actually doing a big Friendsgiving at the studio here. And I decided that we're not going to bring a turkey. Like we were in charge of bringing the main meal, like the main thing. And I decided we're going to do a ham instead of a turkey. I'm a big ham over turkey guy.
All day, baby, and you got to be ham over turkey all day. But I got to bring it back for a second. So you're saying that you eat turkey and it makes your teeth feel like gritty? Like,
Yep.
are you like basting it in like Sunny D? Like, that's the only thing that makes my teeth feel gritty is Sunny D. So you got to have like a Sunny D infused turkey that came back from Tampa Bay, Florida with a DUI. Like, that's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It might have been one of those genetically modified turkeys that I've been eating. I don't know, but it seems like it's always like a weird, like I don't know how to explain on your back teeth, like on your molars when you're chomping down. There's like a stick to it. Like it doesn't release like chicken
Yeah,
or
yeah,
ham.
I
It just
know it.
like it sticks to your teeth for some reason, and I don't like that. And I don't know how to explain that. And some people might think I'm absolutely crazy, but I just can't get behind the turkey train. I just do not like turkey. Um, like I said, most of the time I've had it, it's been super dry too. So that probably doesn't help. I think it's directly correlated with how dry it is because the drier the turkey, the more of the stick in the back of the teeth. I don't know. That sounds really weird now that I'm saying that out loud, but I don't know. I'm not going to back down from this.
I wouldn't back down either. I don't think turkey's great. I think even worse than turkey is the same people that are like, "Oh, I had some. I know I don't eat a full stomach every day of the week for every day of the year for the past I don't know year. I only eat on Thanksgiving. I want everyone to know that I only eat on Thanksgiving. I don't eat any other day of the week. But you'll have an uncle or someone that'll eat, and then they're like, "Oh, the tryptophan or tryptophan or whatever in the turkey is. Oh,
Yeah.
I better just
Is that a real
nuzzle
thing?
up."
Is that a real
Yeah, I think it is. I think it has a letter Y in it too. It's kind of yeah, tryptophan. I think it's one of those things that it's like there's like for what you'll eat of a turkey of tryptophan, it'll make you like it would take eating like 36 turkeys to actually make you go to sleep on the couch.
Yeah, it says okay, tryptophan is an essential amino acid found in various foods including turkey. It can influence mood and sleep as it contributes to serotonin and melatonin production, while tryptophan may promote relaxation. Overall diet and lifestyle greatly affect sleep quality. So it didn't really give me the answer, but what I'm hearing here is that there's a possibility that this turkey is putting us out after the meal.
Yeah, it's probably not my uncle with diabetes. That's probably not putting him out. It's that tryptophan. That's probably that's probably the whole thing.
It seems like that's a common Thanksgiving thing, though. After the big meal, everyone kind of hangs out in the living room, and usually two or three middle aged men usually end up passing out,
Mhm.
head back, mouth open.
Yeah.
Everyone's making fun of them.
Oh yeah, just oh, I'll just nuzzle up here for a second. Like, yeah, all right. I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, I'm just checking out the inside of my eyelids.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, hey, do you think you can handle the dishes? Like, yeah, no problem, Randy. I think we can figure it out here. Dishes don't
Yeah,
get washed every
yeah,
single day of the week.
we'll get it going. I mean, in light of Thanksgiving, are you what do you have to be thankful for, Ben? Let's go
um,
back to the real root.
yeah, let's get down to business here. So Thanksgiving, as we all know, is a celebration allegedly between the Native Americans and the settlers, and apparently they had like a big meal or something. Um, I think Thanksgiving's really there is something. I don't know. That's what they tell us, and they put in all those books. But like my big thing is, I'm thankful for my friends and family. I'm thankful my pickup starts up every day, and I'm thankful for my local holiday for always having corn dogs on that in the heater, and I think that's rad. So, what do you got?
God,
What do you got, Cody? No other podcast is going to talk about what they're thankful for. So let's hear it.
no, they're not.
No.
No, they're not. And I think that's what makes this podcast better because that was very wholesome, by the way. I would have never guessed that you were going to go the wholesome route. In my head, I was thinking I'm thankful for Walmart because they just always have everything that I need. It's a one stop shop. And, it gets some flack. It gets some flack, supposedly there may be anti-union or whatever the case, but politics aside, that place has got everything, and I would say I'm just thankful for Sam Walton for ever having existed, and, I just wanted to remind you guys that if you go to walmart.com and use code ONTAP, you can save 10% off your, Thanksgiving meal right now.
Damn, look at that Black Friday deals. The boys are giving you Black Friday, and that's coming from Cody. And I saw him about 3 weeks ago at that self checkout. He's a part time employee. He's actually a part time shareholder even of that company. So
It is what it
yeah,
is. It is what it
whether you're
is.
talking to the CEO
Yeah.
or the bag boy, he's here.
If we could get Sam Walton's grandkids, I know you're listening to this. If we could get Sam Walton's grandkids to just drop a line in the DMs on our Instagram and hit us up, we really, honestly, I'd be down to do an affiliate link for a Walmart.com.
Mm.
That would be awesome. It'd be great.
I-
You can get your dry turkey there.
yeah, I mean, you could get your dry turkey. You could have your mom run it over with a Grand Caravan, and it'll be ready to go in the oven. That'll be perfect. Um,
Exactly.
And on top of that, because it's totally not a paid ad read, let's talk about all those deals at Walmart that are totally worth getting trampled to death in like 12 hours. Black Friday, baby. So Black Friday at
Ah,
Walmart, we are looking at a 55-inch Vizio TV. That's 55 inches. They measured that diagonally, $180. We got a Blackstone. I didn't write down how big it was or how many burners it's got. It's $150. Do you care? I don't. And we got an air fryer because apparently no one has one of these yet. 50 bucks
yep.
on the air fryer. That's that we got some fantastic deals at Walmart here. I would leave your family right now. I want you to eat, and I just go and camp out in front of that Walmart because they're going to be closed tonight. They're not 24/7 anymore. So just camp on out. They'll wake you up at 4 a.m. with either a restraining order or a deal. It's going to be great.
It could be either one, honestly. Those door busters, as they call them. That what I found out, at least at the Walmart here, is that they're doing all their Black Friday stuff like all week. Like there's no difference. I'm sure there's certain things that you can only get the day of, but I think it seems like all of the deals are right up front. Like you're getting these huge ass TVs for like 200-300 bucks, and it's like holy. I can't imagine like getting a 75-inch TV for 350 bucks. Like back in let's say 5 years ago, that was like a $1,500 TV and people were more than happy to pay that.
Yeah, TVs just keep getting bigger and the prices just keep getting smaller, and I don't get that. Um, I don't know. They got
Are they watch
are they what?
are they watching us? Because think about it from this perspective, right? Like they're getting something out of it. And if it's not more money, then what is it? Like a lot of these TVs got voice control. They got cameras. They got some of the 3D ones have like a depth, like a lidar on them.
hmm
Um, are they peeking into our home? You think? Are they infiltrating our home?
I mean, I don't know
Are we the problem?
I don't know what information they're going to get about two kids yelling about watching Bluey, but I mean, if that's what they are looking for, I'm just more blown away. So they're doing deals all week. There's no actual deals on Black Friday. You can't get anything on Black
No,
Friday.
I think there is some deals that you can only get on Black Friday or like limited quantity stuff. But like this whole week, I know the Walmart here has been advertising all their Black Friday deals right up front, and they have all like the middle aisles are full of just like the Black Friday deal stuff.
I think the only Black
It's like here
Friday
it is.
I think the only Black Friday deal you can really get is just like a big K-Swiss sneaker right over your cheek while you get trampled to go get one of them air fryers for $50. I mean,
Yeah, right.
that's a
Yeah, that's a good point. Like you said, as if no one had them at this point. Do you think people are like really upgrading their air fryers? I see air fryer technology is through the roof right now. They're really adding some crazy shit on air fryers.
they're really figuring out how to get that air warm and to circulate it. And I don't know what other appliance can do that. I've even pondered with the idea of taking my oven and buying a box fan from Walmart and just sticking it in the door instead of closing it, and just seeing if we could just push
Mm.
some air into that bad boy, see what happens,
Brother, do I have a crazy concept for you?
Let's hear it.
It's called convection or true convection oven. And they already got a fan in there, sometimes two.
Is there a rent a center near? Because I need one, and I need it on a payment plan. Let's do
It's,
it.
it's a real thing. It's convection or true convection. Both of those have fans in them. And this is coming back from my Sears appliance sales days. But man, is that a game changer? Heats up the whole thing evenly. I still got the broke boy oven. I still got elements on the bottom. So, it heats it up directionally,
Hmm.
which is, it's not the best, but you get that convection oven, which is an air fryer. An air fryer is just a convection oven, and it's just a small oven. So you had a convection oven, you got a huge air fryer, and most people don't know it. It's underrated.
Hmm.
The industry dropped the ball.
Okay, so you're a little bit of an appliance expert, you'd say.
I
Now,
would say I'm a little appliance snob, if you will.
okay, well that's perfect because check it out. I'm rolling into Thanksgiving here. Uh, how many minutes should I microwave my turkey for? Now I know to keep it wrapped with tin foil. I know that'll keep the juices in. I'm thinking about 10 minutes per pound. It's a 12-pound bird. Looking about hour and a half in the microwave. What do you think?
That sounds about right. Honestly, I would say that it doesn't start getting really moist and flavorful until you reach about that 50-minute mark in the microwave. And actually, the cool part is, if you really want to, if your phone is getting low on juice, I actually hear if you put your phone in there, it charges it up at the same time.
Huh. I might have to live feed me making this bird because I mean I can't get the cord to go through the door. Yeah, I'll make a TikTok live about that. Um,
As
what possessed someone? So like obviously we have the turkey. You've heard of like people that make duck or like other kinds of birds. Who was the first guy that was like, I'm gonna shove this duck in the ass of a turkey, or we call it a turducken, or I think it's a turkey, duck, and chicken or whatever, and it's all
mm,
just human centipeded together, and then you throw it in the oven. Who thought of this?
I've never had it, but I've heard of it. I'm a little bit scared of the idea. I didn't realize that's how it was made.
Yeah, they're not
And
made separately and then, put in a magic bullet or a slap chop or something and then put together on the table still cold and dry. Like, no, it's a whole thing apparently. So good.
I picture a couple of drunk uncles drinking a couple 2-3 too many old Milwaukees and just saying, "Hey, why don't we cook these things together instead of separate?" And then boom, they're just it's good and it's stuck. Because that doesn't seem like a normal experiment, especially for like a Thanksgiving meal. Is your family ever one of those ones that'll just like experiment and throw some shit together and just like throw it in a fryer, throw it in the oven, whatever, and just see if it works? Because growing up, my parents, we had a turkey deep fryer, and we'd always cook our turkey, but then also we'd just start throwing random shit that we battered in there. We'd throw battered green beans, battered cauliflower, battered pickles. Like, granted, that's not very random, but pretty much just every side that you can think of that we had, we would batter it and deep fry it.
Um, I wouldn't really say we've ever got really creative. My mom wasn't much of a chef, and my aunt my aunt really was. There was a while there. My mom started hosting all of our Thanksgivings, so we're like, okay, we're not going to our aunt's house. We're going to mom's house. So we go to mom's house. And I remember I rolled up one time. One year was sloppy joes. And they were good. She's gonna listen to this and she's gonna yell at me, but yeah, we had sloppy joes and Lay's chips for Thanksgiving. 10 out of 10.
That
It was great.
that's the best.
And then the next year we rolled up and it was Texas toast and spaghetti. And I wasn't mad about it. It wasn't traditional in the slightest. I mean, but you still serve pumpkin pie with all this. you you get done
Hey,
you get done having a plate of spaghetti, and it's like, you want a slice of pumpkin pie? Like,
that's what makes it a Thanksgiving meal. I tried telling the other guys this is all these holidays, all these Hallmark holidays are like obviously geared towards shopping now and spending money, but at the end of the day, like as long as you got that pumpkin pie, that makes it a Thanksgiving meal. You could have a goddamn crave case as long as you got the pumpkin pie finisher. That's a Thanksgiving meal.
yeah. Well, it was even funnier. My mom, she went to Walmart before it. Gotta swear we don't get a sponsorship deal with Walmart. I'm so pissed. And she bought like these dollar, like little mini personal pumpkin pies to give us instead of even just buying a big one. I was like, you cheap ass. Should just give us zebra cakes at that point. Fuck it. Um,
It's honestly not a bad idea if you're worried about portion control. Maybe that's her way of saying maybe you overindulge. Maybe you take more than your share of the pumpkin pie. She's just trying to cut you off.
yeah, and it wasn't very nice. Here's a question for you, Cody. So obviously, last episode we're talking about getting older into the years. You got a wife, you got a little ripper at home. Have you ever had the Thanksgiving at your house? Have you hosted?
No, we've never hosted a Thanksgiving. We've hosted a Christmas before, but this will be our first Thanksgiving with the kids. So it kind of changes Thanksgiving too. Like, I feel more apt to like give some of that specialness to it because of the kid now. It's like I want to put on the production for no real reason, knowing that the receiving end of the production is like whatever. It really makes me want to just like make the pumpkin pie from scratch or like overdo it in a way, in a weird way. And I don't know why that is, but I do look forward to the first time that I get to host the Thanksgiving because then it's sweet because then you can drink a lot and you don't have to worry about driving home or getting or getting a ride or my wife yelling at me because she's got to drive or whatever the case.
I like that. I've hosted one time. Um, yeah, you're definitely not wrong about the whole. You're already at home. It don't matter. I remember I ended up getting pretty drunk the one time I cooked. I've hosted twice now. The one time I cooked, I made everything at home. So I made like chicken breast and steak because I was like, I just don't care about Thanksgiving. This is what we're making. So I just did some real nice New York cuts and I did some chicken breast, and it was a great meal. The next year, I thought I was going to be really crafty with this. Really thought I was onto something because I was like, you know what? I hate turkey. I'm not making a ham. I was like, I should go all out and just buy everything from KFC. Because I was thinking, I was like, we already got mashed potatoes and gravy. We got biscuits. We got fried chicken. We got coleslaw that everyone will politely say no thank you to. It'll be perfect. And I put all my eggs in one basket, right? And I remember the day of, I drove to KFC at about 11 o'clock and it wasn't open. No one was at fucking
Oh,
KFC. And I had six people coming to my house and I had no idea what the fuck to do. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, KFC's not open. I can't get this big, chicken and mashed potatoes and everything. And I ended up going to my freezer and just grabbing beef. And I was like, well, I got enough stuff. I ended up just making taco in a bag for our Thanksgiving. And it was a hit. It was a goddamn
that's not a
hit.
bad idea, honestly. But if you think about it, you're right, though. You're onto something there with the KFC spread for Thanksgiving because they literally have everything. they have all the stuff that you would normally have for sides. You get a few other sides in there, and that's a full Thanksgiving spread. So I'm gonna have to take a look into this and see if our KFC here is open on Thanksgiving because I might do this. I might do this later on for our spread. I think that'd be a great idea. What? Oh, you said you never got it. The taco in a bag was your second choice. How did you land on taco in a bag?
I just had enough beef and I had enough shredded cheese and I had some tortillas and I had two of those big bags of like Dorito chips, and I was like, okay, I'll just crunch all this shit up and I'll just put it in a cereal bowl for someone, and we'll just do a taco in a bag, but in a bowl, kind of thing. And and there was cheese and
Oh,
sour cream, and the white people loved it. It was everything it needed to be, and I was the hero of the day. And I got drunk and I didn't have to drive home. I passed out on the couch. I fell asleep on the couch, and then everyone just kind of left on their own accord. They're like, "Oh, we're gonna let Ben sleep, so we'll."
yeah, that seems like a win-win, honestly. Yeah, that's another thing too, because if you pass out, it's like it seems like every time that you get a good nap in after a big Thanksgiving meal in particular, it's one of those naps where you wake up like not knowing what day it is because you slept so hard. It's just like one of those exhausted naps. So if you're at your own place, I mean, potentially you don't even ever have to wake up. You could just stay asleep. Just sleep on the recliner that day. Sleep on the couch that day.
It was
Not a bad idea. I might actually try to pitch Thanksgiving at my house next year.
it's perfect until everyone's too polite, because I thought to myself, I'm like, you know what? If I just go to sleep, everyone's gonna get the hint and leave, right? And I fell asleep, and I remember I woke up about a half hour in, and everyone was still there. Damn it! And I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back to sleep. So I went back to sleep, and I don't know. It's almost like a reverse Irish goodbye, because Irish goodbye, you just leave without telling anyone. But instead, I just fell asleep, and I was hoping they were just gonna Irish goodbye me. Like, I don't know if I had to turn on like a
Mhm.
buzzer or a light or start a fire or something. I don't know. I need everyone to leave. I was like, come on, you guys have been here 46 minutes. That's the perfect amount of time. You can leave now.
The timer's been running. It's your time to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That's a good way to Irish goodbye in your own home is just take a nap or just go into your bed. Like, go into your bedroom, close the door while everyone's there, and just let it be known, "I'm done. I'm tapping out.
No,
Go
no
home."
one's gonna wake you up. They'll be like, "Oh, he works so hard on that taco in a bag. He he m-
Yeah,
he must need a nap. He almost cleaned all the house before we showed up. Like, yeah, I'm pretty tired,
yeah.
guys."
That's a good point. I mean, how much of a superstar do you think you'd be? You show up to a Thanksgiving potluck with a White Castle crave case.
Oh, high up there. What 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 would you bring? Like, are you talking like a friendsgiving? You're talking your like a family Thanksgiving? Like, paint me a picture here, man.
Yeah, Friendsgiving. I mean, honestly, I would probably go for the easiest meal possible. I don't want to have to spend an hour or two preparing this thing, potentially longer. I'm gonna probably, I never thought of going to KFC, but after you said that, now that's all that I can think of. I think that's the perfect Thanksgiving potluck is one of those big KFC buckets.
Damn straight. The best that I ever did for Friendsgiving. So I was the first one out of our friend group to have a house. So there was like 4 years where I had Friendsgiving at my place. And what I would do is a lot of people wouldn't want to make anything or whatever. So I would just text everyone and be like, hey, just PayPal me, because Venmo wasn't a thing back in the day. So I just say, hey, just PayPal me $10, and I would drive across town, because obviously your Friendsgiving isn't on Thanksgiving. And I would go to
Right.
Buffalo Wild Wings and I would order like 50 boneless honey barbecue, 50 boneless Parmesan garlic. And it would come with all the trays and forks and everything and napkins for everyone. And then, whoever,
Mm,
like we had a couple people, they chipped in money, and there was like 3 Domino's pizzas. Um, I've heard it referred to now as, instead of Friendsgiving, they call it trash giving, where it's just whatever bullshit food you want. I saw a TikTok the other day where this one guy brought 3 logs of Zin, and that was what his treat was for the party.
wow. Okay. Yeah. I see. I'm sure there's like got to be a subreddit or a section of TikTok that's all about creative meals to bring to Thanksgiving, and I think I gotta go check that out because I could see that being a big thing. I'm sure the Zin logs are going to be a popular Thanksgiving item this year. Maybe even a popular Christmas item.
Yeah, I mean it's not like you can't just really just throw it at like a jewel pod anymore. Those days are gone. And heaven forbid you smoke a cigarette. So I don't know. I don't know where we're going with it, but
It's kind of have we reached a peak or have we reached a valley here, do you think? Because sometimes just the thought of just smoking a Marb Red 100 just sounds good, especially after smashing a whole dry turkey where my teeth are all sticky. I gotta add the cigarette smoke to my teeth.
yeah, there was one time we had a Thanksgiving at my aunt's house, and we were out playing backyard football. But what we would do is all of us cousins and like nieces and nephews, we'd all get together and we'd get one big bottle of Windsor, and then we'd all drink that whole handle of Windsor, and then we'd use the plastic Windsor as our football. And I remember I bummed a cigarette off my brother. He had these Camel full Turkish, and I remember just smoking that cigarette. And I remember lining up and playing football, and I remember puking behind my aunt's shed. It was one to remember that you couldn't.
Yep, exactly. And I think nothing paints a more American Midwestern Thanksgiving than using a Windsor bottle as a football and also smoking cigarettes at the same time.
Yeah,
I honestly, that was like top 10 Thanksgivings I've ever been to.
yeah, it would.
I've never been there, but it's definitely something I want to do now.
Oh, it was great. And then obviously Thanksgiving breaks. I had to go do all my 10th grade math homework. But yeah, it was a hell of a time.
Have you ever had like a family conundrum happen at a family Thanksgiving, like a kerfuffle of any sort break out?
uh I'm sure something must have happened, but I'm sure I'm blocking it out. I I remember there was one Thanksgiving where after my dad passed, my mom started dating this guy, and he came to the Thanksgiving. We're like, oh hi, yeah, nice to meet you, whatever. And he's sitting there and we're talking, and I have a CDL. He used to be a trucker from way back, and he's telling us stories about running away from the cops and fucking doing cocaine and driving semis and all this other stuff. And
Jesus.
I'm like, holy shit, this guy's crazy. I'm like, Mom, I thought you were gonna like marry an accountant or something. Like, this is the guy. And he's sitting there and talking about trying to fucking run away on his Harley. And like, he's my stepdad now. I love the guy. He's fucking awesome. But it was that was about the only one, because I think my jaw was so far on the table you could have shoved all that taco in a bag in it. It was a whole fucking thing. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think, I've never had any specific instances happen at one of my family Thanksgivings, but I will say we've always done this tradition at, like, big family Thanksgivings where we play spoons. Big Thanksgivings and big Christmases, we'll play spoons, and the spoons game always gets super heated when it gets down to, like, the last 2. There's definitely some cuss words thrown out, and grandma doesn't really like that. There's definitely some wrestling. There's definitely some bonds that might be fractured because of the game of spoons. So I can't think of one instance in particular, but spoons always gets just ridiculously heated at our place.
Oh, that's that card game, right? Where you're just going around in circles and circles and circles, right?
No, so it's like you literally put like okay, it's like musical chairs, but there's metal spoons in the middle of everyone. So if there's 5 people, there's only 4 spoons, and you're tossing. Oh yeah, it is cards. Yep, yep. You're passing cards around, and once you get to 4 of a kind, you can grab a spoon, and you can do it sly, or you can do it like super obvious. But you can't start grabbing them until someone else does, or you get the 4 of a kind. And so
Oh, yeah, yeah. So,
most of the time it's like a big surprise, you know, when someone gets it and someone always gets screwed because they're like passing a card or like not paying attention or whatever the case. And it gets heated.
oh, like fire it up, like someone's gonna be like, "Hey, I'm gonna go slash your tire after this." Like,
Yeah, honestly, a lot of F bombs, a lot of S bombs, a lot of Z bombs, a lot of Q bombs, a lot of words getting thrown around.
damn. God, grandma's gotta just be sitting there just taking her hearing aid out and just holding their St. Christopher medal and just waiting to get back somewhere.
These kids need Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing to play it so that we appease grandma's Thanksgiving traditions, and then it's another thing to just have fun. And sometimes just sticking it to your cousins and distant relatives is the best way to go out because you get one up on them on a game of spoons. There's nothing more satisfying.
Do you think that's changed as you've gotten older, though? It's not spoons. It's your cousin pulls into the driveway in a new, Audi sports car, and it's just like, oh yeah, remember you beat me in spoons last year? Like, yeah, 27% APR, boy. You think you can afford that? Because I can't. But look at it.
Right. Right. Yeah, I can't say that I've ever been in that exact scenario, but I could see myself being in that scenario for sure.
we had a we had a cousin one time when we were playing football in the backyard. My aunt had just got a new garage door put on the back of her garage. Like they had a garage that went to the back of the house, and we were playing. And I remember my two older cousins. I was real young, and one of them got tackled into the garage door, and they bent it, and that was a whole thing. And parents were yelling at each other, and yeah, yeah. Now I think about it, yeah, that was a hell of a Thanksgiving. And then that family didn't ever come back to that Thanksgiving. And then there was another family. There was another family of it that was so offended, like the original brothers and sisters of the whole thing. Well, they only came for dessert after that. They wouldn't even come for the whole meal. They
Mm.
just come by for some pie and then leave.
That's a hell of an insult. That's the most Midwestern thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, they would just be like, "Oh, are blank and blank coming over?" And like, "Oh, they're just coming for dessert." Oh,
Was this also the same Thanksgiving with the Windsor bottle football?
surprisingly enough, that came years later.
Good tradition.
it started out as an actual Wilson football because those guys were young. I'm the youngest of like 27 nieces and nephews. So when I came around, they were like, 30 years old with like 401ks, and they're still throwing bows on this shit. Yeah, it was a whole
Holy shit.
yeah, it was a big deal. And like I said, people just kept getting more pissed and pissed, and less people started showing up for just dessert. So it was a whole thing.
Well, that's probably a good thing, honestly. You gotta weed out the weak with some horseplay. I think that's key. Weed out the weak ones. You ever get into like a weird family situation? Because I know that this has happened to me a lot where I get there and it's like the cool cousins or like the cool aunts or cool uncles aren't there. And it's just like the awkward family
Oh,
members
the
that are there a
whole
little bit too.
the whole vibe is just and you're like, where I always think of my cousin Andy because he was always super cool. Like anything would be happening, and like if Andy wasn't there to play foosball and shit with you downstairs, like it wasn't fun. You just sit there and just be like, oh, yeah, whatever.
The do nothing.
Yeah,
Do nothing. Make awkward small talk.
yeah, and then then his family would show up for dessert, and then it got real fucking cool for about 40 minutes.
And all of a sudden everyone stopped showing up. I don't know what the hell happened.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Well, what would you say? Are you a big Thanksgiving fan? Like, are you a big Thanksgiving guy in general, or are you just kind of like, eh?
Yeah, take it or leave it. Honestly, like it's cool I get the day off. It's cool I get to go, entertain family and stuff. But I I think nowadays I think there's not a meaning to it anymore like there really used to be. Um, and maybe that's just my family and just how I feel personally. But I don't know. It just Thanksgiving don't hit like it used to. Um,
Hmm.
Like I feel like when growing up, Thanksgiving was a big deal. You go and help your mom pick out rolls at the grocery store, and you're like, "Oh my god, everyone's gonna love these clover leaves." And then it's like now it's like I'm sitting here, yesterday, and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, "God damn it, I don't have any clean clothes for this."
Yeah. Right. Yeah, now you gotta go out of your way, you gotta do some laundry, you gotta, get some shit prepared, maybe go pick up a pumpkin pie, whatever the case. Yeah, I would say I've always been a big Christmas fan, and I think the day after Thanksgiving is always, for me, the start of Christmas season. And, I know Sam gives me a lot of flack for this, but honestly, I could care less about Thanksgiving. I mean, I like the fact that we get together with the fam, we have some good food, whatever, but, I don't care about necessarily the holiday itself, but yeah, and I think back to that same point of, like, having the kid now is, like, I kinda wanna make it to be a fun thing for him now too, so I think I'm gonna start maybe some of our own traditions. Maybe teach him how to rough up on his cousins or something, and, I'm gonna get their version of spoons going. Maybe get some Nerf guns out for him or something.
Yeah, maybe just start with a fifth of Windsor, don't get that 175.
Yeah.
See what
Right.
happens.
Start him out low, start him out
Yeah,
low.
just
He's not sleeping from the turkey because 'cause we're not having turkey, so he's gonna be sleeping from the Windsor.
yeah.
Well, anyways, then we gotta get back to our families. We gotta get back to Thanksgiving. I'm really looking not forward to eating some of this dry turkey. Is there any closing statements that you have here for the listeners?
I'd like to thank everyone. You know what? I'm thankful for the fans. Thankful for the fans that are listening. Thanks to everyone that subscribed. If you made it this far in the episode, I think you should maybe if there's a turkey leg emoji, maybe drop that in the comments wherever you see it. And if you had something funny that happened in your family over Thanksgiving, let us know. And also, if you have a food that, say you got like an aunt that brings yams and you're like, what the fuck? Tell us about it. And you know what? Just enjoy your family, enjoy the day off, and I hope everyone has a great Thanksgiving.
God bless America.
Damn straight.